Okay, so 2-7, simplifying radicals, and we're going to look at example 1 here. So remember, we're looking for the largest perfect square factors. I've got some of the perfect squares listed over here to the left, and I know how to use my calculator to get a list of factors. So the first example is the square root of 75. So I'm going to jump right to my calculator because it makes my life easier. And I'm going to go into y equals, and just like we talked about in that previous video, 75 divide x, second graph or table. So now how you're going to show me work for these problems is you're going to list out the factors, the whole number factors at least. I do not need all those decimal numbers, but I do want to see some of those whole number factors. So we've got 3 and 25. We had 5 and 15. And I think that was really about it, because then we start going backwards again because there's 5 and 15. So that's all we got to choose from, 3 and 25 and 5 and 15. So 3 is not a perfect square, 1 and 4. 5 is not a perfect square, 15 is not a perfect square, but 25 is a perfect square. So I need to use that 25 and 3 as my factors. So just like we learned with multiplication not too long ago, and I'm going to jump back here for a second, when I have, two radicals being multiplied, I can turn that into one radical with one single number. In this lesson with this 2-7, we're going to be going backwards. We're going to be taking a number that's in one side of a radical, like that square root of 75, and we're going to be breaking it apart into two separate radicals, each with its own factor in it. So I'm going to turn the square root of 25 into the square root of 25. I think I said 25 the first time instead of 75. The square root of 75 is going to be turned into the square root of 25 times the square root of 3. Because if I were to go backwards, the square root of 25 times 3 would give me the square root of 75. So I have not changed the value of this expression at all. And so now this is where the simplifying part comes in. We picked one of the perfect squares. We picked the largest perfect square because then we can simplify that. Just in case you weren't sure, we can go to our calculator and look at the square root of 25 compared to the square root of 3. Naturally, I don't want to deal with that irrational number coming from the square root of 3, so that's going to stay as the square root of 3. That's a nice normal whole number, though, with that square root of 25, because it's a perfect square, so that I'm going to simplify. So the square root of 25 comes out as just 5, and my square root of 3 stays in. So the square root of 75, written in simplest radical form, is 5 square roots of 3. Simplest radical form, which I will start abbreviating as SRF. And there you have it.